Hi everyone! So today's video is going to be all about my current hair care routine. I've had a lot of questions because in recent videos I've been telling you guys that I've gone silicone free, and I had a lot of questions about that. So I'm going to be talking about that and just kind of why I made the switch and what I'm using. I'm going to be showing you some of the products I use. I've got a few of them lined up back there and I'll show you those in detail. So let's go rewind a bit. So I want to explain to you a little bit the thought process behind it, because it's kind of more of a holistic approach. It's not just like, you know, this one product is going to magically fix your hair, or doing this one thing is going to give you the best hair of your life. It was kind of a combination of different things that has caused me to now have like really healthy hair. It's probably in the best shape of my life, probably. I started coloring my hair back when I was in high school. And then when I was in college, I started coloring my hair again. And I don't even really know why. I mean, I just wanted to try out different things. Of course, sometimes I went to the salon and got it done. It was super, super expensive. And so I just thought, okay, this is like a lot of money to be spending on hair. And so then I started doing box dyes again. So I was constantly coloring my hair. And even when I started doing YouTube videos, I mean, I had different shades of auburn. I had a really, really dark, one time really, really dark hair. I had lots of different colors going on. And, you know, since I was doing a lot of it myself, you know, I probably wasn't using the best quality of it either. Also at this time, I was finding that because my hair was getting more and more damaged from these dyes and from all the chemicals and stuff, I had to style it a lot more, because I was then using more heat tools to make it look straight, because I noticed when I didn't style my hair with heat tools, it was super frizzy. And there was times when I look back on old videos where I see that in the video I haven't heat styled my hair. I just let it air dry and it was super, super frizzy. My hair didn't look good without heat because it was so damaged. I needed the heat to kind of make it smooth again. Either I would use a curling iron or hot rollers, and often I would use the like a straightening iron. And yes, I would use like so many different products. In the bathroom was just filled with all these products, and all of them promising to do different things. And you know, this one was for heat protecting, and this one was for smooth and sleek, and this one was curl enhancing, and like all these garbage products. I mean, some of them were quite expensive, so they were higher end, but I'll get into that later. But anyway, none of them really fixed the problem, right? And the problem was that my hair was getting more and more damaged through the coloring, of course, always the harsh chemicals, and also just increasing the heat styling. And it was kind of like a vicious circle, because as my hair was getting more damaged, I needed more heat tools and I needed more of these products for my hair to look good. And I think that's what a lot of people have. Their hair is just like air dried. It just looks so fried. And that's how my hair was. Basically, it was just very dry. The ends were very brittle, and I always had to do something with it. I always had to heat style it because it just looked like crap otherwise. 3 years ago, I said, okay, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop coloring my hair, because I realized, like, why am I doing this? I don't even know why I'm coloring my hair. I actually really like my natural color. As soon as I got regrowth, it just wouldn't look as nice. Obviously, it would look kind of cheap and trashy, and so it was always the hassle of having to go for touch-ups and like all this stuff. And I was like, why am I doing this? So I completely stopped coloring my hair. There was that period when you got the regrowth, right? So all those dye jobs of all those mixed together weird colors that were all fading, and then you have your regrowth of your natural color. Oh my God, there was a period where I absolutely hated my hair because it just looked so terrible. And I went to a hairdresser and I said, well, look, can you maybe like, you know, change the color on the bottom so that it matches the regrowth? And she said, look, you have so many different colors, we'd have to use like bleach again, and we'd have to lift the color, and it would only damage the hair further. It's like, hey, you know, I'm just gonna go through this terrible period where I had, you know, mismatched color. I had just colored it really dark before, so the bottom was like really dark, and then this was much lighter, and it just looked so stupid. Gradually, obviously, the color that was in the hair in the bottom part that had been the old growth, it did gradually wash out. As time passed, it definitely started to fade with the different color variations, and there was still sort of a place where you could spot like where the difference was. It was like, you know, first to here and then to here, and I could spot the different colors, but it just was more and more hard to see. Most people couldn't see it anymore except for myself because I was really like looking for it. So I completely stopped coloring my hair, and that was like the biggest change I think in my hair care, because obviously all the regrowth was like virgin hair. It hadn't been colored at all, and that part was really healthy. So I had to use a lot of very heavy conditioners and stuff on the bottom, and I was still using heat on that like very frequently, especially with my flat iron, because it just looked so frizzy if I didn't. Or maybe even a year ago, I really cut back on the amount of heat that I was using on my hair, and I started to notice a huge difference again. Basically what I did is I had to go to the hairdresser and I cut off a lot of hair, because my hair at that point was all one length. I used to have lots of layers, and then I got kind of sick of the layers and I grew them all out, so my hair was all one length. But at the end there was just like patches where the hair was so destroyed, and it was just so dry and brittle, and you know, breakage and everything. So I went to this hairdresser when I was in Germany, and I went there and I said, look, I want my hair to look healthy. What can I do? And she said, look, you're gonna have to cut off a lot of hair, because there's really no way to repair hair once it's like broken. You know, if you've got split ends and stuff, the only thing you can do is cut it off. Your hair is dead, so it can't repair itself once it's like left the root right inside your head. But the best thing to do is, because I didn't want like a short haircut, she said, why don't you just get a lot of layers put in, because most of the damage was on the top layer. I decided to do that. I got a lot of layers put like all throughout my hair. Once I was at that point, my hair quality had improved a lot, obviously because the regrowth was all like virgin hair. I just knew like the best thing for me to do is to stop using as much heat on it. And I realized also with the new hair growth coming in, I didn't need heat as much anymore to style it, because it just looked good on its own, because the quality of my hair was like very good, you know, it was in healthy condition, so it looked nice without having to use straighteners all the time and curling irons to make it look nice. So it was a relief to me. So I kind of stopped using a lot of hair tools. I never really, actually I did. I used to dry my hair all the time with a hairdryer, and I don't even remember, like the last time I probably dried my hair with a hair dryer, like a blow drying thing, is when I was sick and I had to go outside, and I didn't want to go outside with wet hair when I was feeling ill. I just basically let my hair air dry on most occasions now. I stopped flat ironing it all the time. Also, I feel like the style in hair has kind of changed. I feel like really straight flat hair is not really in trend right now, which is good for me because my hair is not naturally straight. Like, this is the completely natural texture of my hair. I just washed my hair today and I just let it air dry like a few hours ago. So this is exactly what it is. There's actually quite a bit of wave in it, natural wave. So for me, that was great because these kind of wavy hairstyles were kind of coming back in style. I very rarely curl or do anything with my hair. I mean, sometimes I will do it for videos. On my everyday life, you know, going about my business, I don't do anything to my hair heat styling wise. Maybe I'll do something if we're going out to like a nice fancy restaurant or something, maybe then I'll curl my hair, but it's not a everyday thing at all. I basically started washing it much less frequently. Well, twice a week is almost how much I wash it. I wash it maybe every 2 or 3 days, depending how much I've been sweating. If I go into work out, sometimes it's still okay, like working out, and then the next day I can still wear it, but after that I like have to wash it because of the sweat and stuff. I sweat a lot like on my head when I'm working out. I started looking at products that didn't contain silicones. So silicones are often put into cosmetics in general. So you'll find them in makeup, you'll find them in skincare, and you'll find them often in hair care products. Now, I still use products for like hand cream and body lotion stuff. I know they contain silicones. The reason I've started to avoid silicones in hair care specifically is because I just feel like they behave differently on your hair than they do on the rest of your body. Now, silicones are basically a perfectly safe ingredient. There's nothing like poisonous or something about it. There's nothing inherently damaging about this ingredient. It's an ingredient that's often added to cosmetics in general as a slip agent. So in cosmetics, like for example in eyeshadow, sometimes you'll find this eyeshadow that's like really creamy, you know, to the touch, and you're like, wow, it's so creamy, what is that? And it's usually the silicones that have been added. And in hair care, it's often added to add a slip agent to your hair, so that your hair will basically, it gives weight to your hair, so your hair will fall more nicely, and it basically coats each strand of hair with silicone, which makes it look sleek, it can make it look shiny, and it can make it feel very smooth because it has that slip agent, okay? So that's kind of why silicone is added into shampoo, because if you're using a conditioner that has like a lot of silicones in it, then usually when you rinse it, you know, your hair feels like really soft and like really sort of slippery kind of, you know, when you brush it out, it's like really sort of slippery, and it's very, very easy to detangle hair than when you've used a silicone conditioner, because you just like glide the comb through it and there's no tangles and stuff. So those are all kind of the benefits of silicones. The negative side for me personally is that I felt like it just really weighed down my hair, because there's silicones that are water soluble and there's silicones that are not water soluble, which means they just stay on your hair until you use a clarifying shampoo or something like that to get rid of all the silicones, which a lot of people don't do. Like they'll just keep using the same shampoo, you know, like Pantene Pro V and L'Oreal or whatever brand they're using, and most of them do contain non-water soluble silicones. It just builds up over time, and what I started to notice is that my hair would look great like the day I washed it, and then the next day it just would already look greasy, especially at the roots, like lifting up my hair here, it would start to look greasy here, and it just wouldn't look as nice on the second day as on the first day. And it just felt like my hair was getting greasier really fast. My hair felt very dull on the second day. Like the first day it looked great, you know, and the second day it just looked so dull and lifeless, and it was just like hanging down like this, you know, it just looked greasy at the top. Basically, I just began to use silicone-free shampoos. Now, some of them don't specifically say this is a silicone-free shampoo on the front. Sometimes you just have to know what the ingredients are, and those can be a little bit tricky because they're usually really long names. The most common ones are imodimethicone and dimethicone. Both of those are silicone agents. The easiest way to find out if a shampoo has silicone in it is either if it says it on the front, like silicone free, or to read the ingredients list and look at the agents in it. So you'll have to know what the silicones are. I will have them listed right now here on the side, some of the most common ones. And also one of the easiest tricks is just to find words that end in cone. Okay, so like imodimethicone. Okay, so that's a silicone ingredient. Now, as I said, there are like water soluble ones, which means that they actually break up the next time that you wash your hair with the water, and they don't need a sulfate to get rid of them. But most of the shampoos that I have found, like in the drugstore, even like high-end, you'd be surprised, like expensive shampoos, they actually contain the non-water soluble kind. So they'll contain dimethicone or something like that, which is actually a really inexpensive ingredient, and that coats the hair, and it's really hard to get rid of it once it's kind of built up on your hair. So that's the reason why I've just decided to avoid all silicones in general with hair care, because A, I don't have to remember which one's water soluble and which one's non-water soluble, and B, because most shampoos that I've found, like in drugstore or even high-end, actually contain the non-water soluble kind. So I've had a lot of questions for people saying, oh, is it like a dangerous ingredient, or is it something that's like damaging to the hair? Well, not really. I mean, there's nothing like inherently bad about silicone. It's not like some crazy acid or whatever, but it does coat your hair with that agent. And from what I've read, from the literature that I've read, like online and stuff, is that although your hair is dead, it has like, it's not a porous surface, but basically, you know, stuff can get into the hair shaft. If you put like conditioner on or something like that, it can penetrate the hair shaft. And if you have this layer, just imagine each strand is coated in this sort of silicone-y, plasticky, well, I mean, it's not plastic, but you know what I mean, in this kind of coating of this stuff, it's going to be harder for good stuff like oils or butters and things like that that might be in your conditioner to penetrate the actual hair. And I was talking to my hairstylist about it, and she said that sometimes she has people who come and get a hair color put in, and the hair color like does not grab onto their hair because there's so much silicone on their hair, so the hair color doesn't like penetrate the hair shaft, and so when she washes out the color, or when she washes it out, like there's almost no color, or it's just like patchy and stuff. So that's something you also want to consider if you are coloring your hair and you're using a lot of silicone shampoos and conditioners that might be preventing the color from properly going into the hair. So I started going on the hunt for new hair products, which meant actually I had to get rid of so many products, but anyway, those products weren't really making my hair feel any better. What you want to do is, if you're planning to go silicone free and you want to buy now more products that are actually going to nourish and like penetrate the hair, you need to first get rid of all the coating that's on your hair. So you want to use a clarifying shampoo to start. Now I use this one. It's the Neutrogena Anti-Residue Shampoo. Also, another one that you can try is the one, I think it's by Herbal Essences. There's one, I think it's called Clearly Naked, and that is also, I believe, a clarifying shampoo. There's lots of clarifying shampoos on the market. You just want to make sure that your clarifying shampoo doesn't contain a silicone agent in it. And when you use this, you'll notice your hair feels squeaky. So these are kind of more harsher shampoos. This is not something you want to use every single wash. This is more to get rid of buildup. Also, if you use like hair pomades and waxes and treatments and stuff like that, it can leave buildup. So using a clarifying shampoo every now and then anyway is a good idea. And your hair will feel really squeaky. Like when you go like this in the shower, it'll be like squeaking, you know? So that means that you've gotten rid of all the silicones, because usually these contain quite harsh sulfates. You need sulfates to break up silicones. Then you're gonna want to look for shampoos that don't contain silicones, obviously, because otherwise you're gonna be putting that stuff all back on your hair. So if you're not sure what kind of shampoos to go for, the easiest thing is to look for one that actually says silicone free right on the front of the bottle. This is the thing, I live in Switzerland, so I don't know what's available at the drugstore in whatever country you may live. So this is really just a matter of finding something that works for you. I can show you what I'm using right now. This is one that I actually found here in Europe, and this is the Herbaflor shampoo. This doesn't say anything on the front about it being silicone free. It is a natural, sort of a natural shampoo. So basically I just read the ingredients in these really small letters and just made sure that there's no silicone in here. This is the jojoba one, jojoba shampoo, and Herbaflor, and this is available at Müller. And this one works really well. I mean, this just really cleanses the hair and it doesn't feel harsh or drying or anything on my hair. So I've been having a good experience with this. The one that I'm currently using is one by La Roche-Posay. Now, La Roche-Posay is a French skincare brand. They make a lot of skincare products and they also make shampoos. I also have very sensitive scalp, so often I will react to strong perfumes. I've had instances of like dandruff on my hair if it's like reacting to something, or if it's like a really harsh kind of perfume or whatever. So this is actually one for dandruff. This is the Carium shampoo cream micro exfoliating, and this really works well if you have sensitive scalp, if you have a dry scalp. So I have a dry scalp and I can sometimes suffer from dandruff if it gets like really dry and irritated. So this one is also silicone free. Doesn't say it on the front, but you just have to check the ingredients. So once I'm done with this, I will skip to this. This one is also La Roche-Posay Carium, and this is the Extra Gentle Nourishing Cream Shampoo. And this one says it right on the front of the bottle. It says silicone and paraben free. This one is meant for very frequent use. I think I have actually used this like a few years ago when I had some kind of scalp irritation. It's very, very gentle on your hair. It doesn't have like a strong perfume. It kind of like, it has a little bit of perfume, but nothing too crazy. As for conditioners, there's a few different ones that I've tried out. A lot of them sort of more into the natural line, like natural products. So one of the ones that I actually do really like is this one by The Body Shop. This is the Rainforest Radiance Hair Butter for colored hair. Now I don't have colored hair. They had another one for like normal hair, but I didn't like the scent, so I just bought this one. It says right on the front, no silicones, no colors, and no parabens on there. And this is also like eco-responsible, so it's like good for the environment, and smells like, I think this one's supposed to smell like blueberry. And this one is meant to be used as a hair mask. So I don't use this every day or something, or every time I wash my hair. I would wash my hair and then in the shower I put this in, put it up into like a high bun, and then I have it in for maybe like half an hour, 40 minutes sometimes, depending on, you know, how much time I have. I like to leave it in a really long time and then I rinse it out, and it just gives a lot of nourishment to the hair. It's really inexpensive. This is my second bottle of it. It's the Ico system. Again, this is one that's available at Müller here in the German-speaking part. Like, I know it's in Germany as well. You can buy it, Ico. And this is the Haarkur Repair says right on the front, without silicones. This is meant to be used as like a repair mask, but I like to use this as an everyday conditioner. What I like about this one is it actually has a slip feel to it, because you'll notice with the silicone-free conditioners, often you don't have that nice sort of slippery, detangly kind of feel because it doesn't have the silicones in it, right? It feels like a cream for your hair, but it doesn't have that slimy, slippery conditioner feel that most silicone conditioner has. This one, however, does have a slip feel to it. So this one is really good for sort of not daily, but like use more frequently, because it's really easy to detangle my hair with this after. So another one that I tried out is this one. This is the Natura line. This is actually one from my local grocery store. They have a whole natural range of beauty products. Also, they're not tested on animals and everything like that. This is the Pflegespülung. So it's a conditioner, and this is the Inca Inchi oil, which is some kind of a plant, and they use the oil from that. This one's almost finished. This one is not as conditioning as I would like, so I'm not sure if I'm going to repurchase. Sometimes I actually use this as a leave-in. So after I finish washing my hair and conditioning, I'll get out of the shower, and if my hair is feeling a little bit dry, I'll just put a little bit of this into the palm of my hand and work that through and actually just leave it in, because it's sort of a more lighter texture. And another brand that's available in Germany, so I know this is not helpful for you guys in North America, I'm sorry, but if you do live in Germany, is to check out the Alverde range. It's another natural cosmetic range. They also make makeup and stuff like that, and they have a hair range, and apparently they have a really good silicone-free shampoo. I forgot to pick that up last time when I was in Germany, but I have these two products. One is this is also a hair repair mask, and this has avocado and shea butter in it. This is again without silicone. It says it right on the front, ohne Silikone. And then I also tried from that same range the Haarspitzenfluid. So this is a hair tip repair kind of leave-in, and this is basically sort of a liquidy. I'll show you. It kind of looks like a liquidy thing like that, and then you just work that into the ends of the hair. It's just for the hair tip, sort of to prevent split ends and just add a little bit more moisture. You know, using products without the silicones and stuff. I mean, I know some people are really big on sulfate free. That might be something I dabble with next, going silicone and sulfate free. But I have tried some sulfate free shampoos in the past, and I didn't really feel like it really cleansed my scalp. Using these products and just the changes that I've made with my hair care overall has made my hair so much healthier. Like if you look at it now, this is just natural. Like I just let it air dry, and it's just in such great condition. Like it's really, can you tell? I don't know if you can tell, but it's like really sleek and shiny, and it's naturally sleek because it's not so frizzy anymore. Like I haven't added any silicone or any kind of these hair serums, which are often laden just with silicones, right? So these hair serums are often just like silicone that you put on the hair to kind of seal the hair shaft and to make it super slippery, and I don't use any of that, and my hair is still, I don't know, can you tell? I don't know if you can tell how shiny it is, but it's like really shiny and really sleek and smooth. You know, I do have a natural wave in it. This is completely natural. I haven't used a curler or anything like that, and it's just not frizzy, you know? And for me, that was the biggest change that I noticed, is like as soon as I stopped doing all those damaging things, my hair looked better as it air dried, you know? And now it's kind of the opposite. It's like, or just I don't have to do as much for it to look nice, you know? Like it's just, you can see there's wave in it, you know, there's wave in it obviously, and curls, but there's almost no frizz. I don't know if you can tell. You know, it is a long process. It doesn't happen overnight. You have to make a lot of changes to your hair care in general. It's sort of more holistic approach. It's not just like one thing or one miracle product. And that's one thing I've realized, is that these hair care companies, you know, like that are selling you these products, like all of them are promising these amazing things, and like, you know, you go into even like the drugstore, and I mean, I used to buy sort of more high-end salon brands. I used to buy like the professional range. You know, they all promise different things, you know, they all say, oh, do this, but in effect, you have to just treat your hair better, and you have to, you know, avoid a lot of these heat styling agents. That's a big thing, and dyes and chemicals and all that, because that really strips the natural structure of your hair. I don't use a lot of additional products. Like these are I basically just use a shampoo and like different conditioning products, you know, conditioners or masks and things like that. Besides that, there's not really any go-to hair products that I use. When your hair is in better condition, you figure out that you need like less and less of all these other products that are supposed to make it look good because your hair is actually in good condition. The last thing I wanted to quickly address, I know this video is getting super long, guys, but you guys did want to know, is your haircut. So one thing that might be easier for you to transition, especially if you're coming from more damaged hair and trying to get back to healthy hair and you're trying to go silicone free and stuff, like your hair might look worse for a while. And because your hair, if it's really damaged and you don't have these silicone things on it to protect it, it'll look really frizzy. So what I would really suggest is to just take the plunge, go to your hairdresser and get a lot of that stuff cut off. If you have really long hair, the easiest way to do that is through layers. If you have really fine, straight hair, like really, really fine, I would recommend not to get layers because that can make your hair on the end look really, really stringy and like frazzly. I would just get a blunt cut and cut off as much as you can bear to part with, and just go for a straight blunt cut because it's gonna make your hair look much fuller, like you're gonna look like it has more weight to it if it's like nice blunt cut, and the ends are gonna look so much healthier. I can guarantee you your hair is gonna look so much better when it's in a good quality rather than having like really long hair down to your backside and the end is all like fried and frizzled. And I see sometimes women like that and I'm just like, I just want to take scissors and like cut their hair off because it's not about the length, you know, it's not about like, oh, I have the most long hair ever. It's more about the quality of your hair. My hair goes like down to here, it's layered, but you know, I would rather just have layers and then have that hair in good condition rather than just having a bunch of fried ends. I go to the hairdresser about, you know, as needed. I start to realize it when my hair starts to get really dry on the end, of course, and then also the harder it is to detangle it. So after I shower and I'm trying to detangle my hair and I'm getting a lot of knots in my hair, that to me is always a sign, okay, now it's time to go to the hairdresser. It's just the best to cut it off. So just go to the hairdresser, get it done, and then start fresh. And you know, you're gonna thank yourself later because it's just gonna look so much better. So I really hope this video was helpful for you guys. Sorry it has been so long. It's just there was a lot to cover and hopefully I answered all your questions. And if you have any more, okay, now I can't stop playing with my hair. If you have any more questions, you can post them in the comments and I'll try and answer them. Remember, I'm not an expert on hair. These are just my own experiences. Hopefully it's helpful to someone out there and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.